Welcome to Creative Writing Energy, conversations about the writer's life, craft, and alternative practices with Kim Peterson and Catherine Evans. What's up, Kath?
Hey, Kim, how are you?
I'm not too bad, thank you. What you doing?
Trying to keep warm. It's ridiculous. Summer went vanished.
I know, it's disappeared today.
Back to winter.
It just, when the temperature drops like that, I just find myself running to the loo every 5 minutes.
Thanks for that.
Yeah,
We'll be lucky if we get through the video today.
I'll make it through the recording though, I'm sure.
Okay, good on you.
Yeah. So, today we're going to talk about creative fire, aren't we?
Yes.
What fuels your creative fire? We're protective about our fire, aren't we, Kath?
We are.
We are. You're a fire sign, by the way.
I am a fire sign.
I fan your fires with my hair.
I used to be very fiery.
Airwaves.
That's it. I used to be very fiery, but my water put it out.
You got a water somewhere lurking?
Yeah, water. Water and fire don't mix.
No. That's why we're good together.
That's it. You're my air. You fan my fire.
I do. But before we get into that, we have a creative writing prompt for you this week, and that is, I am a writer when I'm writing. I will write today and be who I am. Any thoughts, Kath?
I always feel better when I write. You feel more like you. Do you?
Yeah, definitely. Especially this week in particular, I've really got stuck into my fiction writing. You know, it's good. I think I've banged out, I don't know, about 7,000 words or something.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is this nanoing?
Well, I'm not in Nano. I didn't join Nano. I just, I started a little sidekick in my Blood Legends world, and I had the cover made, and it kind of just like it
Fanned your fire.
It ignited the fire. Fire, and I've been writing, and you know, it feels really good.
Good,
doesn't it? When you're just doing what you are.
Yeah. It's the best feeling.
Getting that creative brain going.
Yeah, really
because,
good.
You know, I've been writing a lot of non-fiction this year, a lot of articles and whatnot between my fiction, but I kind of slacked off on the fiction and focused more on the non-fiction and what we've been doing, and you know, the podcast and creative writing energy. So yeah, it's really good to get back into the fiction.
Yeah.
Although having said that, I had one day where I sat down and it took me a whole 1 hour to write like one paragraph.
Oh, those days are horrible, aren't they?
I know.
Or when you read back over your work and you go, what were you thinking? That's terrible. You know, like they're the worst moments. But luckily they come with the best moments when you're in the zone and you go.
Yeah, gotta love that zone. So, Kath, your creative fire, what fuels it?
What fuels my fire?
Yeah, what keeps you going? I mean, you know, besides the sort of creative part, which, you know, I think all writers are kind of, you know, we might write for different reasons, but at the end of the day, it's something that's really sort of at your core that you want to sit down and push out those words and get across your meaning, you know, or your message or your truths or whatever. But, you know, it's not always easy in this game, you know, pushing past the dips.
Yeah. I think mine's a compulsion to write because I love reading, because I love knowledge. Like ever since I was a kid, you know, I haunted the library. I read everything that I could. Kim's just reminding me that we haven't done our cards, even though she sidetracked me.
I did. I'm so sorry. Should we do that quickly?
Yeah, we should.
Okay. You go first.
All right. Trust your vibes.
Trust your vibes.
The usual deck.
Mm-hmm.
And the top card.
Name.
Ooh. Name your higher self.
Mm-hmm. I like that.
I like that too. Ooh. What's yours while I look up what it means?
My name for the higher self. I have a name.
What is it?
That's my secret. I'm not telling you this. Oh, not on air.
Oh, come on.
Okay.
I looked it up quickly. It opened on the page. You can creatively bypass your ego and conscious mind and tap directly into your higher self by giving it a personal name, such as Tom or Betty or Michael, or simply HS.
The
name
what?
you choose.
HS.
Yeah. For higher self. The name you choose isn't important. Sonia Chakret's name of her higher self is Sam. We talk regularly and she learns a lot. She said she knows it sounds silly, but it works. Naming your higher self makes conversations with it much more intimate and opens the door to higher vibration and perspective in a fun way.
Okay.
I have never ever thought to name my higher self.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't call it a person's name, I don't think.
No.
I'd call it something.
That's really interesting. I mean, I even though, like I said, I sort of have this alter ego kind of name, but I don't actually address myself like, you know.
You don't talk to your higher self by its name.
But what I kind of thought of, the first thing I thought of when you pulled that card is a few books I've read along the way have mentioned that we all have a name, a soul name, basically, like our you know, from that realm where we're from, kind of thing, and you know, like a spiritual name. And there are a lot of people that spiritual people that are sort of, you know, along that road and evolved, have chosen to use that name for themselves because it feels more natural to them, I guess, or they resonate more with it. And that's what that's the first thing I thought of when you said that. And I remember one time talking to this lady, a light worker. And she told me her spiritual name, and I said to her, how do you know your spiritual name? Like, how do you get to know that? And she said, you know, you can ask and meditate on it, and eventually, if you're meant to know, you'll know. And I just had this inkling, and this was like 10 years ago, that my spiritual name could have started with an A, but I never got what it was until sort of quite recently. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's interesting.
I think it'd be interesting. Might be a bit of BSing as well. I don't know.
All right, so what's your card?
My card, okay. I am using the Soul's Journey, baby.
Be interesting to see if it goes with naming your higher
Ready?
self. Yeah.
Drum roll, please. Da-da-da-da-da-da.
Acceptance.
Acceptance. I'm learning to accept the things that I cannot change.
Like the name of your higher self?
Mm-hmm. And maybe situations and people and
how you are.
Yeah, how we are in our core. Yeah, okay. We'll go with that. We'll take it. All right, carry on.
All right. So yes, my compulsion to write, I think comes because I was a compulsive reader, or am a compulsive reader, and my thirst for knowledge is never quenched. You know, like when I was a kid, I remember Mum telling me that curiosity would kill the cat so many times, you know, like, because the poor thing, I must have peppered her with a million questions all my life. And some of them were things she just couldn't answer. They're not answerable questions, but I just asked, you know, like, so I think for me, writing is my way of repaying what I've read and learned. You know, like, I have to put
Maybe
back
like
into the world
sorting out everything that you've learned, and writing is like, you know, the medium that you use to push that out and sort it out.
When I worked in science, I was really very, very strict about whenever I did some kind of experiment, I had to write the paper for the experiment, you know, like to make sure that the information I'd found from my experiment went out into the world. And that wasn't easy because, you know, I usually worked with older men who didn't like my science writing because probably I was a little too creative. So those papers were hard work, but I just had to do them. That was my purpose in life, I thought, was to get information out. And there are some scientists I work with who would never publish a paper, or it was like pulling teeth to get them to write up their work. And I could never understand that. You know, like if you do something, you want people to know about it. You want that knowledge there.
It's always been a part of
someone
you.
can get it. Yeah, so it's always been part of me.
Yeah.
Crazy part. How about you? Why do you write?
I write because I guess at the end of the day, it's like I have to. It's something that I love it. It's a passion. And like you know, I've always read books. Books have always been a big part of my life ever since I was a child, and even moving through to teenage years. You know, I was always reading books. And I remember once I sat down, I thought, I think I was, I don't know, maybe 15 or something. I thought, I'm going to write a book. That was the first time ever that it kind of entered my head. I'm like, I'm going to write a book. And I sat down and started writing it with pen, like half a chapter. And I was like, oh my God, I can't write a book. Like, how did people do this? But it was sort of the first sort of inkling that dropped into my mind. And yeah, I guess it's something that stayed with me. And your life kind of just rolls out, and you go through these different life stages, and all of a sudden you kind of land in a place where everything falls into place and it's just right. And you listen to, that's what I did, kind of listened more to my my higher self.
Your higher self.
You know, and just started writing. And now, you know, it's who I am. But as far as, you know, the business and keep that fire going, I mean, that can be challenging sometimes, can't it, Kath? How do you do? You know, as in, you know, the lack of sort of income kind of thing, and it's not like easy. It's not easy. And you're putting all this hard working, and you're kind of not always seeing any fruits of your labor coming in. I mean, you're getting the satisfaction in your inner world, you know, because it's who you are. But you need a little bit more than that, don't you?
Yeah, and society doesn't really value art, does it? You know, like well, movie stars and that are, but the everyday, you know, person in the films,
writers in particular,
at the back, the writers, the backstage people, they don't get the huge billings and the accolades. So if you're trying to value yourself on society's values, which is money and prestige and power, isn't it? Then most writers don't get any fulfillment from that. So yeah, I think it's a job that you do for yourself mostly, isn't it? You've got to fulfill your own joy.
I don't think
no one else is going to.
You couldn't persist unless you had that passion for it. It just wouldn't work.
No,
it wouldn't work.
And yet you're told about writers, aren't you? Like like the Hemingways and the Charles Dickens and that, who just wrote and everybody devoured their words, and you don't hear about them ever having hard times or tough moments, or is it like their writing was just lauded and applauded and grabbed, and and they got to live their life writing. Whereas for most people, I think it's a compulsion that you do around everything else that sort of props up your life, gives you the money to work. Isn't it? Yeah. I don't know. It's a weird kind of situation, isn't it?
It's hard to know all the time which way to go with things. It's a business like any other, so we invest the money, but
you've got to be true to yourself too.
Yeah. But then you've got to think of your life and your family as well, and how that is helping to support that life, and when it's not, it's kind of like, well, do I give up? Do I keep going? How
do I follow a trend? Do I write with other people? Do I stay by myself? Like, there's so many choices. Self-publish, go with publisher.
Yeah.
It's really hard to know, and I don't know that there's even a right answer, is there?
I don't think there is any right answer. I think we all sort of have to, it's something we want to sort of navigate through our own path and journeys. But as far as keeping going, I think I'll never stop writing.
No.
It's just, if I don't write, and like you said at the start of the show, it makes you feel good. You feel that's who you are when you're writing.
It doesn't matter what you write sometimes, does it? Like, you don't have to write for publication. Sometimes you can write for your blog, or write a story for a friend, and it's still writing.
I'm interested, do you experience imposter syndrome?
Oh yeah.
How do you deal with that?
How
does that feel like to you?
Well, I don't. Probably the best example is that I went to the Australian Romance Readers book signing, and this girl that I knew came up to buy my book, and I said to her, "Are you sure you want to buy it?" God.
Oh no, you can't do that.
I know, that's my imposter syndrome, because I think, my God, why would someone want to buy my book? Why does somebody want to read my stuff? So I kind of, all my life I've written and never shared it with people. So in the last 10 years I've started sharing it with people, but I still don't know why anyone would read it.
Yeah.
And that's such a terrible thing. But imposter syndrome, big time. Yeah.
It just reminded me, when I said, how does that feel to you? Recently, my mum, I'm going to have to say something about my mum every week now, just to
stir her up.
Just to stir her. A couple of weeks ago, we're having this conversation, and I don't really remember what I was telling her. It was something, but she had gotten to this habit. If I told her something, and when I explained to her whatever it is I'm talking about, I'm basically, telling her how I'm feeling about it. And then her next question is, So how does that make you feel? And I just said to her, and she said it to me a few times, and I said to her, Mom, would you just stop saying that? I just feel like I should be laying on a frigging couch with you by my side. I'm like, stop it. I hate it. But before I said that to her, because she'd say it, and I think, what the fuck? You know? Anyway.
So how does imposter syndrome make you feel?
How does what?
How does imposter syndrome make you feel?
How does imposter? Should I go lay down?
Yeah, go on that nice bed behind you. Put your feet up and.
Yeah. It makes you feel. It makes me feel. What's the word I'm looking for? I know it not good enough. I get these moments where I just think, who the hell do you think you are doing this? You know, yeah, and why would someone want to read these words? I mean, I even get it with people in the industry, like, well, you know, why would that person want to know me anyway? What's so good about me? Like, it's just so self-depreciating, and I try very hard to not entertain those thoughts for too long anyway, because those kind of thoughts never serve you, do they? We're not perfect. Just
I know. I sent an email to an author once who, you know, like, she's one of my favorite romance authors, and I said, I don't know if you'll remember me, and she wrote back and she said, Kat, of course I remember you. Anyway, it was what she wrote after that, I can't remember. It was so nice, but I stuck it to my wall so I'd actually remember that, yes, you don't have to walk around and go, why would someone remember me?
No, it's those little messages that you do get unexpectedly from people, you know, that help you, that just kind of give you those little bursts of encouragement to keep going, and they're important. You don't realize until someone says something. I mean, I was working a bit with our friend Patty Roberts on this latest cover last week, and we had this conversation about I don't know, future covers, and oh no, I think I told her, because I saw the cover. She'd made some changes, and then I saw the cover, and I just couldn't wait to get back into the story and write, because it's not finished. And and she wrote to me, and I wrote it down here because it just really got into my heart. And she said, "Love it when people are passionate about what they do. Makes the air around them crackle and sparkle with energy. You sparkle the shit out of it."
That's beautiful.
It was so nice.
Yeah.
I just went, oh, like, just sort of seeing other people's perspectives on you, you know, it kind of helps to kind of move a bit past those whole self-depreciating thoughts about what you're doing and where you're going.
And writing friends seem to get that, don't they? Like, they, you know, they seem to have an intuitive vibe that when you need something said to bump you out of something, isn't it? Like, yeah. I couldn't live without my writing buddies, just for that kind of stuff. Yeah.
That kind of support.
Yeah.
I think, fellow writers get it, for one. You know,
and everybody seems to go through moments where, God, it's so tough, or, oh, this is the biggest high out, you know, and they know that you've got to even that out or you go crazy.
Yeah, it's not always easy, is it?
No, it's a crazy game to get into.
I think surrounding yourself with the right people and really important. It's not always easy to find those people either. You know, that's a journey and a path in itself. And, you know, because, you know, just like with anything in life, you'll meet people, and when it's right, it's right. And when it's not, it's not. And the ones that are meant to stick around will stick around, and they will offer you their time. Like, there is nothing better in the world than when someone might say something to you, you know, like, and express that they have all the time in the world for you.
Mm.
I mean, I'd even actually asked a writer friend his thoughts on my book cover that I'd made last week, and we're not all that sort of close or anything, but I knew he knew about that genre, and I kind of suck at covers sometimes, like.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, I asked for his opinion, but as I did it, I was like, oh, have I overstepped? Because you never know, do you?
No, you don't know.
You never know. And his response when it came back blew me away. He was like, I'm honored that you asked. And I'm like, whoa.
Oh, that's beautiful.
No. So I guess it's trusting your higher self with people as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know?
There's a girl on Twitter at the moment who's pulling together the Australian writing community with monthly prompts. And that's been nice on social media to get you know, a community on social media that buoys each other up and supports each other.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember what her hashtag's called. Do you know it? That Rebecca Langham, I think, did it.
No, I don't know. I don't
And
know.
I'm looking, but I can't find it quickly.
What we're doing, we're kind of trying to carve out our own little supportive community as well.
Yeah, we are.
You know, because we feel that it's important to have that.
Yeah.
Helps.
Hers is easy. Hers is hashtag #OzWrites. Don't know why I couldn't remember that. And we've got our hashtag creative energy writing. Creative writing energy. What are we?
Yeah, creative writing energy. That's what we are. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Creating community on social media is a way where you can get that help even though you're isolated at home, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, it doesn't always have to be an isolated process. I mean, sure, I mean, when you're writing, it's coming from your head.
Yeah.
And, you know, unless you're some kind of, you know, twin.
Reaching out to people.
Kind of
reaching out to other people is really important, I think, because writers are kind of isolated, but they like talking about writing, don't they?
Yeah. They're the only conversations you can have with writers that you can only have with writers. You know,
writing.
most people in my life, like my immediate physical life here, other than you, which I don't see you all that often, but we're going to get together in a few weeks to go to, where are we going? Wollongong's Writer Festival.
Yeah.
Mm. Yeah, so definitely conversations with writers. That's what we need.
Because no one else cares about your writing.
But that's what I was saying. Like, my husband doesn't care, as in, you know, like and he wouldn't know anyway. Like
No.
You know, I showed him the cover and he was like, "Oh, that's cool," you know.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, he loves looking at the covers, but writing.
No, that's why you need writers.
You do need writers. Yeah. Alrighty. Have we exhausted this subject for now?
Yeah. Oh, except my crystals. You can get crystals if you need some help too.
What crystals do you use?
Like for motivation or for getting through the tough times, tiger's eye is good. So a friend gave me a tiger's eye bracelet.
That's pretty.
That's pretty, yes. There's carnelian as well, which is a little red stone. It fires up your fire. That sits on my computer desk. Hematite grounds you, but also gives you some energy. So that one sits where I write as well, at my computer. And then blue topaz. That's the one I bought as a little necklace to get through a rewrite, my third one. Now I'm getting through my fourth one and blue topaz isn't helping. It's just a butt-in chair, make myself do it, helping.
Well, you know what? That's pretty much what you just got to do. It's all that, you know what I mean? Like, just get your butt
Just
in
do
the
it.
chair. And even if it takes you an hour to write one paragraph,
it's still a paragraph that wouldn't have been done otherwise.
I really liked that paragraph when I was done with it too, by the way.
That's good.
It better have been good. It took me so long.
Deleting it.
Yeah, and the following paragraph took me another hour, and I was like, I started getting so fresh. I was like, what? And I'm like laughing, like, Jesus.
But then once you got those two done, did you take off?
Load after that. Yeah.
So that was your crunch point that you had to get.
That was my butting chair. Get the fucking words out. And then I start like this, what the fuck are you doing, Kim? Like, just you know this.
It's so hard though some days when it's not coming.
But that's the thing. I knew where I was starting, my starting point for the scene and the chapter. I knew where I wanted it to go. I knew what my sweet spot was in the chapter. But just
to get there.
Yeah. Anyway. That's why you need writers, so you can complain to each other about how shitty it can be at times.
And then celebrate when it's good.
Yeah. Celebrate
and then go to Writers' Festival together.
Yeah. Those face-to-face
meet more writers.
Meetings. Yeah, we're going to meet more writers and connect and network a bit, and you cannot you can't replace those one-on-one encounters, can you?
No way.
How'd your card go?
I don't know. Name your higher self.
Well, I guess writing is a very, very much like we were talking about, accepting that your higher self wants to write. We talk a lot about that higher creative mind, and that is your higher self, really.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's those
maybe it's about naming
higher regions of yourself, and a lot of times you've got to reach there to pull out those paragraphs that take fucking ever to write.
Maybe. Maybe it's about naming too. Have you ever named a character and it's been wrong and your story's stuck? And as soon as you change the person's name, the story goes poof.
I've never done that.
Oh.
But if a name doesn't feel right to me, I won't use it until it feels right.
Yep.
I'm pretty apart from my main characters, those, I'll probably think more on a main character name. But the side characters, I'll just pull up a list and I'll write down and think, yeah, that'll do. That sounds good, And
what if they get a book and it's not the right name?
Well, I just trust it is the right name.
Good. Excellent.
I mean that I'll write a spin-off on that character. Yeah, actually, that's what I'm doing for my Blood Legends world. I'm writing a spin-off on one of my characters, and I never thought that I would. Luckily, I don't mind his name.
Bonus. Intuition worked.
Yep, trust the intuition. Okay, Kath, you want to wrap it up?
Yes.
That's so well.
So you keep telling me.
Yeah, you do.
Thanks for joining in our conversations. Don't forget to subscribe to Creating Writing Energy on your preferred podcast platform or YouTube, so you'll be notified when our episodes become available. If you like what we're doing and you want to get involved, head over to our Patreon page, where for as little as $1 a month, you can support us and gain bonus access to bonus content. Oh, I'm doing it so well today. That's patreon.com/creative writing energy. You can also find us at whisperinginkpress.com/creative writing energy, and you can sign up there for our weekly emails with our creativity prompts and information. We have a mastermind group starting next February. So if you're interested in looking for a writing community to work with Kim and I, head to whisperinginkpress.com, Creative Writing Energy Mastermind.
That's exciting.
And we have a book, Creative Writing Energy, and it's available for less than $1. Gosh, you've changed these notes. I've got heaps.
I just added one.
On Twitter, we're energy_writing, and I actually managed to put up all the nano prompts, so they'll be coming out on Twitter and Facebook under my author page, Catherine Evans Author, and Kim and I will be retweeting and reposting those. And next year in 2020, we'll be at Write Hive Writer Convention, an online convention for writers. So if you want to get involved in that too, have a look at that. Okay,
and
that's a long exit.
We have a book.
There's our book.
That's what we do.
In your face. And we're writing book 2 in between all the rest.
Yes, we are. Yeah, we're on that. I got my higher self on that while I'm sleeping. No. That sounds right.
The big A is working.
You know what you can do, Kath? Oh, it's your turn to do the email this week.
Yes.
You could think about your higher self name and let us know. Yeah, interesting. Alrighty.
I have to meditate on that.
So what?
I'll have to meditate and see if I can find a higher self name.
Yeah, let it come to you. Yeah. Alrighty. Well, I think that's about it. So thank you so much for listening or tuning in if you're watching on YouTube. And have a great writing week, and let us know what fuels your creative fire.
And keep fanning it.
Keep the air going. Okay. Catch you later. Bye.
Bye.